Although I've used all of the components that come with the plastic kit and the detail upgrade kit for this model, the model is still not quite complete. Earlier on I had weathered the hull and the conning tower for this boat before I added the details to it. So now that I've added the details, they look a bit out of place. They're a lot more clean and shiny than the rest of the hull. So that is something that I need to address. I just need to add some light weathering to those components. In addition to that, there's also some rigging on this boat that I need to install. There's not a lot, there's just a little bit of rigging that runs from the front of the conning tower to the bow and from the aft of the conning tower to the stern. In addition to that, there is also one small ensign that I need to install on the flagpole. The first step that I need to take before I start weathering is to seal in this model with another layer of gloss varnish. This doesn't need to be a very thick layer of gloss varnish, it's just there to protect the underlying coats of paint from the panel line. The first panel line that I'm going to use, or in this case wash, is Revell Model Wash for grey and dark vehicles. This is a grey wash that's quite good for representing dirt and grime. It is quite a thin wash, although you do need to make sure that it is properly mixed because the pigment will precipitate out of it quite quickly. After the grey wash dried, I still didn't think that the effect was weathered enough. It certainly wasn't matching the rest of the boat, so I decided to go a bit more aggressive, and this time using brown panel line. The intention for the brown panel line is to represent a sort of rusty effect on the surface. After letting the brown panel line dry for around 10 minutes, I wet a brush with turpentine and use that to loosen up the brown panel line and remove the excess. While I was doing this, the poor old snorkel got broken off again. I actually don't think I had properly glued it together because I really didn't put much force on it at all. It kind of just fell off when I brushed it. So I'm going to just leave it off for now, continue with this weathering process and then reattach it at the end. While I'm flooding this area with turpentine to remove the excess oil-based panel line, I don't have to worry about the underlying paint because it is being protected by a layer of clear gloss varnish. I also don't have to worry about the grey wash that I had previously put down because that was a water-based, it's an acrylic wash, and that also will not be removed by turpentine. So I've been able to do 3 different types of paint in 3 different layers and not have to worry about them interacting with each other. As for fixing the snorkel, it's a little bit tricky because it is quite delicate and there's not a large surface area to glue it back together, but I am able to get it into a reasonable position, and after maneuvering the joint a bit with tweezers, I get it into a shape that I'm reasonably happy with. After the glue has set, I do a little bit of touch up with the paintbrush and it looks pretty good. You'd have to look quite closely to notice that it has been broken, so I'm quite happy with this result. After removing the excess panel line, the model needs a bit of time for all the turpentine to evaporate off, and once the model has been fully dried, it can be sealed in with a layer of matte varnish. Moving on to the rigging. Looking around at pictures of Type VII submarines, I noticed that between these hard railing sections there's some soft railing, so I'm going to recreate that railing using Easy Line. This is what is listed as rope colored fine Easy Line. I'm using the rope color because it's quite close to the color for the hard handrails, so it's just going to match quite nicely. To glue it in place, I apply a small drop of UV resin to the end of the Easy Line and place it in contact with the hard rail. Once I'm happy with the position of the Easy Line, I bond it in place using light from my UV torch. This is the easiest way that I have found to work with rigging. Easy Line allows you to use stretch to fill the gap correctly. You just need to cut the Easy Line slightly shorter than the gap that you're trying to fill, and UV resin gives you time to correctly position the end of the thread and then instantly bond it using light. Moving on to the rigging for what I think are long wave antennas. I might be wrong about that. In any case, the color that I'm going to use here is black, but the process for installation is exactly the same. I start by attaching one end to the top of the conning tower, and then I pull the other end to the bow. Once the Easy Line is slightly stretched, I cut it to length. A small drop of UV resin is then applied to the other end of the Easy Line, and it is placed in contact with the bow of the boat. Once I'm happy with the bow end of the Easy Line, I instantly set the resin using UV light. To install the rigging that goes after the conning tower, it's essentially the same process, although it is a little bit more complicated. Firstly, there are 2 lines that need to be installed, and there are a few details along the way that they need to be attached to. I start by attaching 2 sections of line to the top of the hand railing on the side of the lower platform, and then I thread the Easy Line through the hoop on the stern of the boat. In both cases, I'm putting the Easy Line just tight enough to cause it to very slightly stretch. Once I have the easy line stretched to the extent that I want it, I apply a small drop of UV resin to the base of the hoop and then use UV light to bond it in place. All that is left to do now is to lift up these lines to attach them to the top of these aerial spreaders on the stern. To do this, I apply a small drop of UV resin to the top of the aerial spreader, then place the easy line into that drop of resin. Once I'm happy with the position of the line on the top of the spreader, I set the resin using UV light. I cut the lines to length just behind that aft hoop. The last of the details to be added to the rigging is to put on some tackle. To do this, I'm using small drops of UV resin that I just place on the easy line. I set it using UV light. Since this UV resin is clear, I just need to paint these drops in black, and after that I need to spray the whole model in another layer of matte varnish. That's because there is some resin and super glue that is visible and that has a bit of a shiny effect on it, so I want to matte that down and get everything looking nice and consistent. Now for the last detail to be installed on this model, the ensign. The first thing that I need to do is prepare a piece of heavy duty tinfoil. I start by spraying it with metal primer just to help the paint stick to it, and once I've done that, I spray it in white. I'm spraying it in white because I'm printing my own decals and my printer can't print white, so I need a white backing for the flag to go onto. After the white paint and the tinfoil has dried, I cut out the decals that I've printed and place them in water to remove them from their backing. Once loosened from the backing, the decals are slid onto the white painted tinfoil and wrapped around the corner. Once I'm happy with the position of the decal on the tinfoil, I apply a small drop of microset to help the decal adhere to the tinfoil. Once all the microset and water has fully evaporated off of the decal, I seal it in with a layer of gloss varnish. Once the gloss varnish has dried, the excess tinfoil can be cut off from around the ensign, and the ensign can be folded to create a more natural blowing in the wind effect. To install the ensign onto the flagpole, I apply a small drop of UV resin to the edge of the ensign and then place it in contact with the flagpole. Once I'm happy with its orientation and how it's sitting, I instantly cure the UV resin using UV light. The flag is now unfortunately a little bit glossy, and there's a little bit of glossy UV resin where it attaches to the flagpole, so I spray the flag and the top of the flagpole with more matte varnish. And with that, the model is complete. The absolute last thing to do, which isn't really the model, is just to paint the stand in black. That completes the build series for this model, although there will be one more video on this model. That's where I do the full build in one video. After which I'll be moving on to the construction of my next battleship model, the USS Alabama. If you don't want to wait for the scheduled release of videos and want to watch them when they're uploaded, consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below. If you would like to support the channel, like and subscribe. And as always, questions are welcome in the comments. Thank you for watching. Cheers.